We saw prices drop in Reno and Sparks, but how low did they drop? Let's go ahead and take a look. Well, we saw a decent drop for September in the Reno Sparks median home price for single family homes. We went from $565,000 to $535,000, a $30,000 drop. Part of it is seasonality. As we start to see the cooler times, we normally start to see prices drop, but this one, you look back and it did surprise us how much of a drop it was. But we are seeing the market start to soften, and we're going to discuss that even more. We're going to keep up with utilizing this graph of price drops in the Reno area. This shows that we've started to level out and start to decline in the price drops for our areas. So that is good news that we're seeing the price drops start to come down. We're not seeing as many people have to drop their price, but they are still above average for the last 4 years. So we're definitely keeping track of that, and we'll discuss that even more here shortly. Median days to contract is going up to 38 days now. So this is the number of days you go on the market to the number of days you accept an offer. So 38 days now it's a little bit over a month and a week essentially. So for you to get your home sold. But in different price points, that means different things. So let's take a look at this. And these numbers actually surprised me. We saw actually the $1 million to $1.5 million took the longest at 68 days, and $1.5 million and above was actually 20 days, the lowest one. I was surprised by that. Now, there's less sales in that price point, so normally when we see that, that probably means that not very many sold, and the ones that did sold really quickly. So when you have fewer sales, it can really more dramatically change the numbers. The ones here in the middle we have a lot more sales in there, so we see a lot less dramatic changes. And they're right around where that median was for all price ranges, but you can see some of these in the 43 days for the $500,000 to $600,000 range, so a little bit higher than everything else. And that's our median home price range. Taking a look at how many solds, how many new listings, and what our inventory is at for the last few months, comparing, and you can see inventory did go up a little bit, and we did see new listings drop. We've been seeing a constant flow of new listings start to go down. I think part of this is people are seeing the interest rates go up. If they have to sell, they might be a little bit more hesitant to give up that 2% interest rate for a potential 6, maybe even 7% interest rate. So if you're thinking about this or considering this of holding off because of that, let's connect and get together, because I think we might have some solutions for you to help get that interest rate down a little bit lower and make more financial sense for you, your family, and everyone. Now, taking a look at inventory, what's available in your price range and how does that differ over the previous month? What we see here in the red was this for September, and we see that most of these actually stayed relatively the same. There was a couple that went up, a couple went down. Actually, the $400,000 to $500,000 range actually had the biggest jump out of them all, from $229,000 to $257,000. So we saw homes in that price range, actually more availability in that range, which I know for some people is a little bit more affordable for them. So that could be good news if you're looking in that price point. The month supply of inventory, what we consider a buyer's market or seller's market. Taking a look in this area, this is if it's above in the 5 to 7% range, it's a balanced market. If it's below that 5 month range, it is a seller's market. If above it, it's a buyer's market if it's above 7 months. So we're at 2.9 months. It went down actually, and that's just availability right now. We're seeing enough homes still sell. Now, there are markets and sub-markets within the Reno area I would consider a buyer's market, and some are still very much a seller's market. So we can connect together and I'll give you more info on that. For new contracts that went, and this is our forecaster of what's going to happen for this for October essentially, we saw less homes go under contract in September, 403. This is going back the lowest we've had since basically winter, December, January, were when we saw something close to that that number of new contracts. So we saw that drop a bit. So we're going to see a lot less closings likely in October for Reno Sparks. Let's talk the submarkets, and we're going to have a tough talk. I want to be straightforward with you with these numbers. And you can see Reno's median home price was down 9.3%, down to $540,000. We saw inventory drop. We saw new listings drop and days to contract go up. The market, again, is starting to soften. It has been softening for the last couple of months, and we're seeing that here shown in these numbers. So it's not the most exciting thing if you're a potential seller. Maybe you're a buyer and you're like, yay. Either way, it's different feelings, and every person's going to be different in different situations. So if you're curious about that, again, let's talk about it. I wanted to add this in here as well because I think it's very notable. You'll look at Reno, since 2012, we've kind of seen that kind of steady incline up. And just the last couple of months, we've seen it really start to drop. And if you look over here, the year over year, you see that negative 1.8%. That means that home prices last September, were actually more than they are this September. So it was $550,000 last year in September versus $540,000 this September. So this is the first time we've seen this in a while. We saw last time was during COVID, and part of that is just situational. So it's not the most exciting thing to see, but again, if you're thinking about making a transaction, that's why we connect and we come up with a strategy to make this work for you. There is a positive in any situation, even with this. In Sparks, we didn't see as much of a decline, still 2.1% down, and we did see new listings go down as well as inventory. Days to contract did go up as well. Fernley about stayed the same, $385,000. We saw inventory go up. New listings did drop down a bunch though, and we saw that median days to contract jumped up a bunch, up 43% actually. Now this is the interesting one, because if you remember what Reno was for median home price, it was $540,000, and Carson City jumped up 6%. That puts it over $540,000, which Reno was. That means that the median home price for Carson City is more than Reno, which, since I've been doing these videos, this is the first time I've ever actually seen that. So, wow, that was a surprise for me. I had to do a double take when I was preparing these slides and make sure we wrote in the right numbers. We saw inventory go up over 8%, and new listings jumped up 19%. And the days to contract actually dropped. So Carson City looks to be in demand right now. And it could be because there are more affordable options down in that area of Carson City. And we might be seeing, and that's why Fernley stayed mostly the same, is we're just seeing more drive in those maybe more affordable options at this point to kind of combat the higher interest rates. People are looking for that better price homes. Taking a look at Gardnerville and Minden, you can see median sales price went up. There's what, 9.5% up. Again, I had to do a double take. Inventory stayed the same with new listings just barely dropping. In days to contract dropped there as well. Almost 13% drop in days to contract. So very much in demand. And to finish us off, condo townhomes in Reno Sparks went up as well. Active inventory dropped. New listings dropped 17%, but the closed sales went up to 92 homes, went up 24% since August. Surprisingly, median days to contract, with all this other good stuff, median days to contract still did jump up 72%. So a big jump there, median days to contract, but everything else shows that condos and townhomes are kind of a little bit more in demand right now. And I think it's partially because of affordability. Looking at people's payments, what they need to do to make that happen. They might have to go into something a little bit more affordable price point, and that would be a condo or townhouse is one of the potential options. I know this wasn't the most exciting conversation if you're a potential seller out there. If you're a potential buyer out there, you could see this as an opportunity for you. If you have any questions on this, please reach out to me. I'll put my contact information in the description below. Please reach out to me. I want to be a resource for you here in Reno Sparks in Northern Nevada. If you have any questions, reach out. Don't forget to watch my other videos over here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.